Have you ever noticed that the people who are desperate for money often can't seem to keep it? It's like there's a hole in their pocket. They chase the bag, they get the bag, and then, poof, it's gone. There's a reason for that. And it's not about your salary, it's about something much deeper. Today, we're talking about why lust will always leave you broke. Not just lust in the romantic sense, but the hunger for more, right now. We're going to look at what the Bible says about it, and then I'm going to tell you a story about two men I want you to remember. Let's be real. Lust isn't just about wanting something. It's about wanting it so bad that you lose your mind. It's a fire. And fire is useful. It keeps you warm, it cooks your food. But if you lose control of that fire, it burns your whole house down. The Bible is basically a collection of warning labels about this. Think about King Solomon. This guy had it all. Gold, respect, wisdom off the charts. But he had a lust for foreign women and the gods they worshipped. He let that desire run wild. And what happened? His kingdom didn't just crumble after he died, it was ripped apart. The fire of his lust burned down the legacy God gave him. Or what about the guy Jesus talked about, the rich fool? He had a good harvest, a blessing, but his lust for more, bigger barns, more storage, made him greedy. He forgot to be thankful. He forgot to be generous. And God said, "Hey, your time is up tonight. Now who gets all this stuff?" He died rich in the wallet, but broke in his soul. And then you have Ananias and Sapphira. They wanted the clout. They wanted everyone to think they were super generous. Their lust for recognition made them lie, and it cost them everything. Literally. See the pattern? Lust takes a blessing and turns it into a curse. It makes you hoard instead of share. It makes you consume instead of build. And that path, it always leads to being broke. Now, fast forward to today. The names have changed, but the game is the same. We see it every day. It's the lust for the status symbol, that luxury bag, the lease on a car you can't really afford, the iPhone upgrade every single year. You're not building wealth, you're building an illusion, and that illusion usually comes with a mountain of credit card debt. It's the lust for easy money, the get-rich-quick schemes, the risky crypto bets, the gambling apps. The Bible says in Proverbs that dishonest money dwindles away, but if you gather it little by little, it grows. But lust doesn't have patience. Lust wants it now, and now usually ends in broke. In the modern world, lust is enemy number one for your finances. It kills discipline. It kills patience. It kills the very things you need to actually build a life. Let me tell you a story that brings this home. I knew a guy named Bruno. Bruno was a hustler. He made good money, but Bruno had a problem. He was a consumer. He was lustful. Every time a new paycheck hit, his fingers were itching. He needed the newest gadget, the coolest sneakers, the car that made people turn their heads. His social media looked amazing, but his bank account? A disaster. Credit cards maxed out. Savings? Zero. Lust whispered in his ear every single day. "You work hard, you deserve this. Why wait? Live a little." And Bruno listened. He started borrowing money to keep the lifestyle going. He took big risks trying to double his money fast. He was chasing the high. But just like the rich fool, the bills always came due. The stress wrecked his relationships. He was making 6 figures, but he was one missed paycheck away from disaster. Bruno's lust made him rich in the moment, but it left him broke in the long run. But then there was Brandon. Brandon made the same money as Bruno, same job, same opportunities, but Brandon saw things differently. He didn't see his income as cash to burn, he saw it as seed to plant. He believed that God gives us the power to create wealth, but it's for a purpose. Brandon had a budget, not because he was cheap, but because he was intentional. He saved first before he spent. He invested wisely, even when it was boring. He said no to the fancy dinner so he could say yes to a secure future. He gave generously at church, he helped his friends, and he lived well below his means. And this is where I want to pause and ask you something. If you are ready to trade the lust of the eyes for the clarity of purpose, I want you to declare it. Right now, say this out loud as your own prayer. God blesses me with vision and clarity. Say it again. God blesses me with vision and clarity. Let this be your declaration that you are done with impulse and ready for purpose. Because that's exactly what Brandon had, vision and clarity. He wasn't flashy, but over the years, something amazing happened. He didn't just build money, he built a legacy. His kids learned discipline from watching him. His community was blessed by his generosity. His faith grew because he trusted God with his resources, not his impulses. Bruno's lust led to poverty. Brandon's stewardship led to prosperity. Same income, completely different outcome. The difference wasn't the paycheck, it was the posture of the heart. So why does lust equal broke? Let's break it down simple. First, lust hates patience, and you cannot build wealth without patience. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Lust wants to sprint and then wonders why it crashes. Second, lust loves debt. It convinces you to borrow against a future you haven't even built yet. It's trading tomorrow's freedom for today's toy. Third, lust blinds you. You can't see 5 years down the road when you're obsessing over what you want in the next 5 minutes. You sabotage your own future. And finally, lust isolates you. It makes everything about you, what you want, what you need. It fractures relationships, and when you're isolated, you're vulnerable and broke. Look, the Bible doesn't say money is the root of evil. It says the love of money is. That's the lust. That's the fire out of control. Wealth is a tool. It's a trust. It's a chance to be a steward of something holy. But lust corrupts that trust every single time. It turns a blessing into a burden. The equation is simple. Lust equals broke. But here's the good news. The opposite is also true. Stewardship equals prosperity. When you kill the lust, when you embrace contentment and discipline and generosity, the money doesn't disappear. It multiplies and it becomes meaningful. Don't be a Bruno. Be a Brandon. Trade the lust for the vision. Trade the impulse for the clarity. God blesses those with vision and clarity. If this message hit home, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And remember your declaration. God blesses me with vision and clarity. I'll see you in the next video.